in my mind. I'm going to share it with you today. It says, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Be kind to everybody, because everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. I discovered this truth a long time ago. I discovered that in every single crowd there is someone whose marriage is shattered. As a pastor, we do visitations. Heartbreaking. When marriages are shattered, in every single crowd there is somebody who is grieving the loss of somebody that they love. In every single crowd there is somebody who has been abused or is struggling with addiction. In every single crowd, there is somebody who is hurting physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Every one of us today, even in this crowd, there is somebody going through something that we don't know. Every one of us today has been shocked by a marriage that has ended or thought was rock solid. Every one of us has had an experience of the pain of a family member who's no longer here. There is somebody in this crowd today who can no longer hide the battle that they face. Addictions, alcohol, pornography, whatever it is, these addictions consume us. And there is somebody in that crowd today. In this crowd this morning, I promise you, there are people who are at the end of their strength. Because they have spent all that they can emotionally, financially, and physically trying to fix their problem. But they're searching for a miracle. Some people in this crowd are looking for love. Some people in this crowd are looking for money. Some people in this crowd are looking for new opportunities, for a job. Some are looking for an answer, and others are looking for fulfillment. But what I can assure you today is that what everybody in this crowd is looking for is a miracle. One of my favourite Christian bands, I was thinking to play it today, but I've only been worshipping in this church for about a year and a half, and I'm still not sure what is appropriate and not appropriate when it comes to music. But you can Google them, YouTube them. They're called Third Day. They have this amazing song entitled, I Need a Miracle. And the chorus says, well, no matter who you are and no matter what you've done, there will come a time when you can't make it on your own. And in your hour of desperation, know you're not the only one praying, Lord above, I need a miracle. No matter who you are, no matter what you've done, there will come a time when you can't make it on your own. There will come a time in your hour of desperation, knowing you're not the only one praying, and you are praying, Lord, I need a miracle. Our story today of this woman, this lady 2,000 years ago. This woman in the crowd. There are so many common denominators found in this woman in our text that Olivia just read, and every single one of us today, including me, needs a miracle. The reason that the gospel is good news, friends, is that Jesus Christ does perform miracles. If you don't think he does, then just look what happened this week in Thailand. Jesus, Messiah, still performs miracles, and there are some people in the crowd today searching for a miracle. It's why those of us who have experienced the power of Christ are compelled to share the gospel. So what is this first element in the life of someone who needs a miracle? Friends, you can only need a miracle when you reach desperation. In this large crowd, we meet a woman today. In front, pressing on him, is a woman who has been hemorrhaging blood for 12 years. She has seen a doctor after doctor. She is suffering. She's in pain. Yet the doctors can do nothing for her. Or they take her money. The doctors love to take your money. But they find nothing for her. Instead of getting better, she's getting worse. 12 years this woman has been bleeding. She's weak, she is anemic, she is pale, she has reached the end of the rope, and this poor woman has no energy left. You and I know she has experienced depression and discomfort, dealing with this sickness for 12 years. And like last week with the leper, we read our stories in Scripture, we know the ending. And when we know the ending, the suspense is gone. We know the leper was healed. We know that Jesus rose on the third day. We know that Jonah came out of the belly of the whale. And we know the woman was healed. But let's not rush to the climax of the story. 12 years she was hemorrhaging. 12 years she was bleeding. Not only that, the Hebrew law considered her unclean. Just like our friend last week, the leper, the biggest problem was social isolation. Don't believe me? Let's look at Scripture. Let's check Scripture. Leviticus 15, 25 to 28. If a woman has a discharge of blood for many days, but not at the time of her monthly period, or has discharge that continues beyond the time of her period, she is unclean, the same as during the time of her period. Every bed on which she lies during the time of her discharge and everything on which she sits becomes unclean, and the same as in her monthly period. So for a woman who goes through her monthly cycle for 7 days would be unclean, but this woman was hemorrhaging blood for 12 years. Anyone who touches these things becomes unclean and must wash his clothes and bathe in water. He remains unclean till evening. Look at the pronoun. The man touches the woman, he too is unclean. He must bathe for 7 days. Ceremonially, he is unclean. You want to go back to Levitical laws and rules, folks? No, I'm not going to go there. But unpack that, and we see the danger of cherry picking. That's for another sermon. Let's look at our next slide. Continues. When she is cleansed from her discharge, she too is cut. Is that cut off? Count off for 7 days. Then she's clean. After 7 days. But this woman's been hemorrhaging for 12 years. On the 8th day, she is to take 2 doves or 2 pigeons and bring them to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Ladies, every month, you take 2 pigeons and 2 doves and you take them to the priest. But this woman's been hemorrhaging for 12 years. The priest will offer one for an absolution offering and the other